woods for the first time in ages, and it feels really nice to be coming out here to camp. So I'm going to be out here tonight, just one night, just doing a bit of a stealth camp. I weighed my rucksack before I came out, and that's about 20 kilograms. 35 pounds, I think, which is pretty heavy. Too heavy, really, all things considered, because it's just one night. I barely brought any food. I'm out here with the dog tonight, and I just thought what we'd do is get back into the rhythm of being in the woods. That's the aim. Try to do my best to just get in tune with nature's rhythm again, and it's not easy because when you've been out of it as long as I have, you forget. I forget everything, but I think mainly you forget how to pace yourself, and you forget how to move. You forget how to see, how to look. So right now Meg and I are on our way down to the water. I'm going to camp near to water tonight because I'm intending to have a fire, so I don't want to have, in the morning, I don't want to have to cart water halfway across the forest to put my fire out and clear up. So, won't be too close. Oh, hello. Just come across somebody's nice little shelter there. That's nice, I'm impressed. Anyway, so we're going to do a little bit of, we're going to build a bed. Hopefully build a fire reflector. Keep me warm through the night. It's November, so it's not warm. It's not too cold, but I think it's going to get colder through the night. I packed with the idea of using everything that I've brought, certainly eating all my food and drinking all my water. I brought a couple of deer skins to sleep on, which I've been wanting to do for ages. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see how we go. It'd be nice to see what kind of wildlife's around. Seen lots and lots of dog tracks, lots of human footprints. Not seen much else, but I'm not exactly the best tracker in the world. Okay, so time about 5 to 3, and what I'm looking at the moment is building my shelter in this area. It's quite cosy, quite sheltered. The bank slopes really steeply. Well, the bank slopes quite steeply down here, then it flattens off, and then the dell, down in the dell there, that's where the river is, down there. So you can see this is what we're looking at. Now, up there, on the top there is a footpath, and there are dog walkers going backwards and forwards. So that's not ideal. But I think that the dog walkers are going to thin out as the evening wears on. So it should be quite nice. So my intention at the moment is to use this birch tree here and this sycamore, which my rucksack's against, to suspend my tarp. And then I'm going to put my fire down here somewhere, down where that stone is, right about there. And then I'll probably put a fire reflector here. My first job is to try and collect some wood up to build a bed. That's job number 1. Right, so we started the bed. Now, the aim with this bed was to try to use no lashings whatsoever, and just peg it where necessary, or get it to sit here under gravity. And the aim of this bed is just to try and raise me up off the ground, give me a level place to sleep, and somewhere where the heat from the fire can get under. So what I've done is I've collected up 3 long poles. So there's a front pole, there's a back pole, and then there's one underneath as well. That one underneath goes all the way from one side to the other, and it rests against the trees, the base of the trees. And then, because this banks so sharply up, what I've done is I've put one straight pole from the bottom pole at the foot there, and one at the head here. There you go, that one there, to support the 2 sides. And then here in the middle, because I wasn't quite sure if this piece was strong enough, what I've done is I've put a fulcrum here, and I've just sat it on this rotten piece of wood, which is fairly strong. And then what I've done is I've put a dead man's finger in at the end there. You probably can't see it. Just there, and knocked that in, just to pin it down so it can't come up. And I put a dead man's finger at that side as well, at that corner, just there, so that foot piece can't come up either. I keep saying head and foot, but I think probably this is sloping slightly to my left, so it could be that that's the head and that's the foot, but we'll see. So now what I have to do is I have to get lots of short straight pieces to go all the way along here like this, which will form the lats. So that's the next job. Okay, so like I said earlier, I'm not sure which one should be the head and which one should be the foot of this bed. Now, as you can see, what I've done is I've put all the lats on. Now, I've not sorted through them yet, so bear with me. And I know it doesn't look very comfortable at the moment, but it'll get a lot more comfortable, I promise. Now what I want to do is I want to find out how level this bed is, and which is the high point and which is the low point, because the last thing I want to do is go to bed and find out halfway through the night that my feet are higher than my head. So what I've got here is a water bottle. This is my water carrier. I'm just going to lay it on this this beam at the back, this rafter, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just going to stick that on and see where the bubble lies. And so you can see that the bubble is slightly bigger on the right hand side, so it's just slightly higher on the right than it is on the left. Let's do it at the front. Yeah, it's much more pronounced there. Okay, so that's going to be the head. Alright, now I want to do the same thing here. I just want to lay it going the other way, see what we get. Yeah, it's not too bad, but the bubble is slightly higher on the left there than it is on the right, so it's leaning back into the hill slightly. Not sure what I want to do about that. I might just leave it for now and we'll see. What time is it now? It's getting on 5 past 4, and you can see that the majority of the weight, the thicker sticks are toward the top, and I haven't really bothered putting thick sticks towards the bottom here because that's where my feet are going to go. So it really doesn't need a great deal of support there. Where it does need support is where my bum is going to go and where my shoulders are going to go. So through there, that's where the vast majority of the stronger sticks are. And I've knocked off a couple of knots here and there, but in general I've just left the sticks as they are to find their own level, and basically sort of dress them at the front here so that we're not catching ourselves on them. But in general it's just as it is. What I've also done is I've put 2 long poles down the sides, and that's to prevent the leaf litter, which I'm going to fill that with, from falling off. But before I fill that with leaf litter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that up with birch twigs. So I've got to go and collect some birch twigs now, as many as I can. I'm going to get as many birch twigs into that space as possible, and then that will prevent the leaf litter from falling through. So it'll act almost like netting. So that's the idea. And then the leaf litter will provide insulation and a comfortable bed. Then I'll put down a tarp, just a thin poly tarp, just to prevent the moisture from the leaves from coming up through me. And then on top of that I'll put my deerskins, and that'll be me for the night. It's getting dark already, can't believe it. I need to be thinking about fire and tea soon, and shelter. Right, it's dark now, so it's difficult to pick this up, but hopefully you can see how our bed is shaping up. So I moved the piece which was down by the tree, I've moved it further up. That's the foot piece because that's the length of my body. And then what I've done is I've covered over the top with twigs and then a layer of dead ferns, and then on top of that some dry grasses and leaves. And it's a bit on the wet side at the moment, but once I put my tarp on top it's going to be absolutely fine. And I think this is going to make all the difference for me for a comfortable night's sleep. But I will let you know in the morning how it turned out. It's taking me, I don't know how long, probably, what time did I get here? About 20 to 3? It's now 4:30, so it's taking me about an hour and a half, something like that, to get this far. So anyway, it's not the best that I've built, but it's not bad either. So I'm gonna start with my fire reflector, see if I can get my tarp up, and I'll come back to you when I'm cooking. Well, what time is it now? Can't even see. It is 5:30. So we've got the shelter up, as you can see. Got the tarp up. Now, I realised too late that what I should have done with the bed is centred it in between the two trees. I should have centred it up. So as it is, my head is right at the end here, and there's very little cover for my head. So what I should have done is centred everything in the middle between the two trees, and then my head would be inside, my feet would be inside. As it is, that's not going to happen. So anyway, we've got a good fire. We are running out of firewood. I need to probably go and get some more. The wood's on the back there on the fire reflector. I can use that for a fire, but for firewood through the night. But I'd rather not. So I need to nip out and get some more wood. It's only 5:30, so I'm going to get some tea on now. I've got some fish crumble to cook up in my billy can, and then I need to write a little bit. I've got some writing to do. And then I'm just going to sit by the fire and enjoy the evening. Megan is not herself tonight at all, and I don't know why. Don't know what's going on with her. She's down here somewhere. There she is. She's laid at my feet. She's not herself. Bless her. But anyway, I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And the bed, so far, so good. Very comfy. I'll probably be tossing and turning in the night, in the middle of the night, because these things always start out comfortable and then end up killing your back. But so far it's very warm, and the skins do a wonderful job of ironing out any lumps and bumps. So anyway, we'll see. I'll report back to you in the morning. So I've had me fish crumble on for a while now. I'm just going to check to see if it's hot. Nope. Warm? No, not hot. I'm going to give it a stir. I'll put it back on. My pot hanger is just a crotched stick tied on at the top with a piece of paracord. Nothing fancy. Morning. So it's coming on now for 8 o'clock, and that was quite a nice night.
I slept through until about 5 AM when it started to rain. It rained on and off from 5, and we stayed completely dry under here, so I'm pleased about that. But it's just quite loud. I think probably there was a little bit of paranoia. Excuse me. There was a little bit of paranoia that the rain might start to come in and blow in from the top, particularly, but it didn't really. Didn't get any pooling on the tarp, so I'm pleased about that. In a minute I'll give you a walk round and I'll show you the camp, but first things first, I need to go and do a wee, and I need to build a fire because I've got to get some breakfast on. Now, I can show you from here if you want. Yeah. So there's a camp. Yeah, it worked well. Definitely better than sleeping on the ground. I think it could be improved. There's lots of improvements that could be made, but in general, I'm really pleased that for the amount of time that I had, it's definitely better than not having it. If I'd had a bit more time, I think I could have improved the fire reflector, which turned out to be pretty much nothing in the end. But doesn't matter, that fire worked really well. Burned probably until about midnight. Got up for a wee about midnight and it was still glowing, but yeah. So, order of the day: get dressed, build fire, put on breakfast, pack up, get out for about 10. Okay, so as you can see, this was the setup from last night, and the bed worked brilliantly. You can see the skins under there. They were lovely, kept me really warm. I didn't have a problem being cold. That's what I thought I thought it'd be cold in the night, but I wasn't cold at all. If anything, I was a bit too warm, and that was a nice surprise. My pillow was my jacket, and I put my rucksack under there as well. And I think my rucksack belt got a bit wet because it was hanging out, and I didn't know. This tarp is just a poly tarp. I think it's about £2 from B&Q, something like that. That just served to prevent the moisture from the bedding underneath there from coming up through, and it worked really well. I didn't have any moisture coming up through in the night at all. I did put a rail on, which you can't see at the moment, so I've taken it off so I could sit down, but I put a rail on between me and the edge so that I didn't roll off. So that was just that long piece of birch you can see there. So I went out and found that and slid that between the trees, and that helped just to prevent me from falling off, so I could lean against it in the night, because it is slightly canted towards the front, which is something I'd have to, that's not ideal. So I might change that in future. But yeah, that's the setup. I would definitely recommend it. There are some changes I would make, but in basic terms, that is a decent bed. I'm pleased with that. It could do with some more bedding, some more insulation, some more leaf litter putting on there. But other than that, it was pretty good. I was impressed. I liked it. It didn't take me that long to build. It probably took 2 hours. If I hadn't stopped to film, it probably would have been a bit less. But my planning and preparation wasn't great, so I can tighten that up next time. And I think it probably is a 2 to 2.5 hour project to get it really good. But I would definitely recommend that rather than sleeping on the ground, because you get a much better night's sleep. So yeah, as I said before, the biggest change that I would make is I'd centre it between the trees. At the moment there's a big gap at this side where there's no bed, and there's no gap at that side where my head was, and that meant that if there had been a bit of a side wind when it started raining, my head would have gotten wet. So what I should have done was centred the whole bed in between the trees, and I didn't do that, but I will do next time. So if you have any thoughts or you've got any criticisms, I would like to know. I'm still trying to perfect this, so yeah, any thoughts would be very welcome. So there it is. That's the bed as it is now. I've taken the tarp down and tidied away all my stuff. I'm going to leave the bed up. I know, leave no trace and all the rest, and a big part of me wants to dismantle it and send the woodland back the way it was, but I really want to come back next week and have another go and see if I can improve things. So I'm going to leave it as it is, see how it fares over the course of the week, and then come back. I'm almost done. I'm all packed up. I've just got to fill up my bucket and my water bottle so that I can put the fire out and tidy that away completely. It's always my last job. So I'm going to nip down to the stream and I'm going to fill up, and then I'm going to come back and sort everything out. And then I'm out of here. It's 10:30 AM. Alright.
Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment.